need is so why do we need a if statement and a easy blank statement is you are checking the field values over here. In the previous formula, you are not checking any field values. You are just making the difference of these fields. Like let's go to the loan, and here we have created a formula field called as applied amount minus closed amount. Like I'm giving only applied amount, and I'm choosing one of my parent record since it is a master detail relationship, and click on the save. And what it will do, it will just calculate the value. So it is having only applied amount, it is giving the applied amount only. So in my scenario, while using this scenario like is blank of if conditions also, what it will exactly do is it will check with the condition if the given field is blank or not, only then it will return the value. Guys, are you able to follow these formula fields?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, I have written some of the formulas like over here, and my formula is something like if the email field, sorry, okay, o- okay. So I want to calculate the difference of the amount which we have seen, and we have also seen some of the formula with respect to the naming convention, and we have seen something called as with respect to the uh, a formula field called as is blank, and using the if condition, how we can calculate the multiple values over here by using the operators. Okay. And we have something field called as a return field. So if I'm having a field called as annual revenue, and if I want to return a value based on this value, if the annual revenue of a customer is more than 5 lakhs, I want to return the sorry, I want to return the customer as a platinum customer. If not, I want to return the make the customer as a gold customer. How will you make this? With respect to this is your customer record, and do you have an annual revenue record over here? Annual revenue. So you're not having annual field. Let's create it first. And something I want to create a new field, and what is this field is called as a currency data type, annual currency data type. And here I want to give annual revenue. Revenue is the field, and I'm choosing the field over here and describe the length of the characters and save it. So click on the next and save. And right now let me create a formula field. Like formula field is something like if the annual revenue is greater than 2 lakhs, I want to make him as a gold customer. If not, if it is more than if it is not uh, 2 lakhs, I want to give him as a normal rating. So how do you make that? Create a formula field for this and click on next, and create the field name as customer rating. Rating. I want to give this. And what is my return type? My return type is a text. Since it is a number field, I'm taking my return type as a text. Why? Because I'm making a calculation with respect to the uh, currency field, and I want to return a value of text. So I'm choosing my return type as a text and click on next. And we have something called as next. Oh, sorry, I haven't defined the formula. Okay, what is your formula over here is if annual revenue, take the input field, annual revenue is something greater than 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs, give him with a rating of gold customer, GOLD, gold. Otherwise, I want to make him as I want to give a rating as normal customer. So this is my formula. So I'm checking the syntax. If you do have any errors with respect to your syntax, it will be given over here. So since we are expecting the string, it should be in a single quotations. That's a okay. Click on syntax and see we have no error, and click on next and click on next and save the record. So let's go to the customer record again, and I want to create a new record over here, saying the customer as sorry, Kiran, hit by, and I want to give him some as Sanket at the rate of gmail.com, and I'm choosing the average revenue is 3
10,000.
lakhs, 3 lakhs. Okay, let me take 3 lakhs because I given there over the condition of annual revenue is less than 2 lakhs, right? So I'm giving you it as a 3 lakhs, and date of birth is something field, and just save the record. So what it is returning me, it is returning me with a customer rating as gold because the annual revenue is greater than 3 lakhs. I'm returning with a value of gold.
Uh, what if we have customer rating,
Mm,
like instead of gold, we have other options also like
yes,
gold,
we
platinum?
will
How
discuss
can
this.
we add? Okay,
Yes, yes, we have a certain condition called as case over here. So
okay.
let me discuss. So if condition is right, you have to write multiple if conditions. Sorry. So if condition is similar to this, like you, so you are asking me if you are having the annual revenue over here, revenue underscore underscore is a field over here, and if you are having some customers with the annual amount is greater than 1,000. So if the annual revenue is greater than, sorry, if the annual revenue is 2,000, I want to declare this person as a gold customer.
Right.
Okay, and similarly, if the amount is 3 lakhs, what I want to give him as a platinum.
Mm-hmm.
Platinum, platinum, platinum,
So
and we have
below
some more
now,
field, we have one more field called as 40 lakhs, 4 lakhs, and I want to give him with a value of silver. So what this case function is exactly do is it will compare, it will check for the multiple values over here. So case is something, if you if you want to write a if statement over here, you have to write it in a nested lift. Sorry, not yeah, in a nested lift statement over here. Multiple if conditions over here, and you have to check your values. But if you want to check something like that, if the amount is writing a multiple statement, I want to check something like if the annual revenue is 2 lakhs, I want to give him as a gold customer. If the annual revenue is 3 lakhs, I want to give him as a platinum customer. You can do it by using the case values. Case is something which is related to something like this. Case, what is the expression, what is the sorry, what is the field you want to give, and with respect to the case, and what is the value you are expecting, value you are expecting, and what is the result you are expecting. Result 1. Okay, this is with respect to the case. And if you have, you can write multiple conditions over here. You can, if you have, if you are having value 2, you can give it as a result 2. You can choose the result 2 over your result 1. And if you are not having any, these conditions are not being satisfied, so you can, if it is false, you can give the false condition as 0 or any other value. uh, False value, false value, if the value is not existed within the given condition, we can also define our false value. If not it is true, if not it is true, if the value doesn't exist and it is not giving a true result, you can choose your false value also, like 0 or 10, which we have discussed. And we have some of the statements also with respect to this case function formula fields. Okay. Okay, this is with respect to the case. And let's create an example over here. For this time I'm taking a loan object. And what is this loan? So let's work on the pick list also. since we need to deal with the pick list also, let's deal with the pick list also. So let's create a field value so that it will return me a statement. uh, it will give me a eligible amount over here. So what I will do, I will create a validation formula field with respect to the pick list values. So what I will do, I will just click on the new, and what I will do, I will choose the formula, click on next, and I want a return data type of eligible amount. So what I want to return is a number field. I want to return a number field over here. So click on next. Sorry, LE. Okay, text field, and click on next. Executing these are a hectic task. Okay, fine. So I'm over the pick list values, I'm selecting like I want to give the case value over here. Let's select it from the case, and so this is the result. As I said you, this result what is the expression that you want to give. I want to choose it over the loan type, right? Sorry, loan type. Okay, loan type, and I want to give that if the loan is something which is related to view fields, loan type. Okay, automobile loan. If I am taking an automobile loan from this, this is if in the loan pick list field, if I am choosing the sorry, the is pick val. If you do want to work with the pick list values, you are having some formula field called as is pick val, so that it will return the statement whichever the pick list value you are choosing for. And the something called as is pick list value is available over here, and just click on and insert the field and remove everything. So if you are choosing a pick list field as an automobile, so this is the value which it is returning, and I want to give say him that the eligible amount is up to 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs. Similarly, if he is choosing over the another loan called as, okay, if he is choosing over the car loans, then I want to give him with a, eight, nine. Here is my formula field. Okay, here we have, and if he is choosing with respect to the formula field with the car loans, I want to give him with a loan of 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs. And what if he is choosing the formula field with respect to the car corporate loan? I want to give him 1 crore of. He's choosing over the corporate loan. I want to give him with a value of 1 crore. Okay, and if any of these conditions are not satisfied, if he is choosing another pick list value not with these values, I want to return with a value of 0 amount. So I will check my syntax over here. Okay, so we are having an error over here. What is this error? Error is with respect to check syntax. Okay, the error is something like the syntax error, syntax found automobile. Okay, this is sorry, this is a string, right? automobile loan. So with respect to the car loan.
Okay, so is the like if we have pick list values, we can enter all those pick list here and then we can check
Yes, we can check
the
this. Is
condition.
peak value expected value too. Okay. So mm, expected to returning the value of only one. So I'm taking the case object over here, and this is my case. And just a moment, guys. Something is going wrong. Case is pick list value. Mm, the pick list value is something like this actually. Is is pick list value. So is pick valve. So this is the field and this is the text literal that I was expecting. Uh, since I defined it as a case, and so let's remove this is pick value and see what it will happen exactly. Will it accept? Okay, sorry. It was my mistake. Like is pick value is used to select the values over the pick list, right? But we are since we are using the case function over here, you can choose the multiple values over here without using the is pick value.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the syntactical error that I had made. You don't need to choose a is pick value if you're using a case.
Okay.
Okay, but then just click on next and next. Save. So let's create a loan record right now, or we update an existing loan record. So if it is a car loan, what is the eligible amount? It is 2000. So if I'm changing over the pick list value, I'm taking the automobile 11 and saving the record. So what is the eligible amount? It is 5 lakhs. So this is how you can do the multiple conditions like case. You can do like this. Similarly, as I given an example of annual amount and what is the amount and what is the type of the partner I want to return, so that you can also do the same. Try from your end this example.
Okay.
Okay, try from your end this example how it works, and tell me, and in the tomorrow class if you have any doubts with respect to the formulas you can ask me, and I will be I recent yesterday I shared with you a file called as loan management, right? I shared a
Mm.
presentation. In that you have some couple of formula fields and validation rules also. Do work with them and let me know if you are having any queries. And this is with respect to the formula fields. We have something called as image field. If you do want to return any image with respect to your fields, then you can do the same. And simply I'm copying it. Let me show you. So we have a field called as applied amount right over here. So we are using it since a long time. And let's go to the payment amount, right? Payment also we have an amount field over here, right? So let's create a formula to display an image in here. So all the regular functions which I did is I'm making a calculation with respect to this. Now on a particular condition, if I want to display an image over here. So how can I display an image in a by using a formula field is just create a new formula field. Okay, image rating, and choose the. So you can ask me like we don't have an image data type over here. So how can we choose the return type data type? For if you do have if you For the image data type, we can choose over the text. Select the text where if you want to display any image in your uh, record, and you can actually create the function here. What is here? So what I did over here is I took a case function over here, and something called as image. What it will exactly do? Let me. Okay. It is giving me error. Just a moment. Okay. Giving me the same. Okay. Since I'm making copy paste, it is returning with all the unnecessary values for me. Uh, uh, Actually, if I want to, I am having a certain condition, like when the amount is greater than 5,000. Sorry, amount is 5,000. I want to give something rating called as 5-star image rating. And if the amount is over something 40,000, I want to return the image file as a 4-star rating image, so that I'm having some more image files over there. And what the thing it is doing is, since it is a case, it is taking the field as amount field, and it is checking the value in the field for the field, and based on this value it is returning me with an image image text. And while with using the image format, image as a function, as a formula, what it will doing is, it is converting this text into a image actually. So these are all the couple of the conditions that you are seeing. If any of the condition is not satisfying, if the given value is not satisfying this condition, it will return you an image of 0 rating. And uh, it okay, sorry. And if there is no value in this image field, it will be giving as image not found. And this is what the expression we have done. And okay, something called as 000. Okay, underscore underscore c. Check the syntax next. So guys, are you able to follow what is this image and what is the syntax that we are going with? If you have any queries in this,
Yeah, yes.
yes, tell me. Ashok, right?
Yeah.
Mm. So let me show you the output there so that you can understand it well. Basically, for the amount field, I want to give a rating here. That's it. That too, I want to give it in a image format. So what I will do is, I will just click on save. And okay. Now let's go to our payment object. Since we have created this on a payment object, and I'm entering the loan amount as 50,000. 50,000, and giving this phone, and choosing my primary parent, because these are the master detail relationship fields. Without this, I cannot save a record, and payment date, something like this, and click on save. So what it will do, it is giving me with a 5-star rating. So what if I edit this record? I'm giving only 30,000. So for the this condition of 30,000, it should give me a 3-star rating. Just click on the save button. So see, this is giving me a 3-star rating. And with respect to this, if I modify this value to 20,000 only, it will be giving me with respect to the 20,000. And if there is no value in this field, no value itself. So what it will be giving? It will be giving me within 0 rating. So this is how we can manage our formula with respect, so we can manage our formula with respect to the image capturing also. You guys have a question like, sir, how did you get this image file over here, like slash image sample stars and 500.gif? Don't worry, this is a we have some of the sample image files in our Salesforce organization. Like whenever you are creating a Salesforce organization, it will give you a sample image files which are already available in the static resources uh, in your organization. So this is with respect to the sample images that Salesforce has given. Sir, if I do want to display my custom image, then how can I display my custom image? Then you need to store your image files in the static resources. So in order to save your image files in your static resources, click on the save. Click on setup and go to the develop, and we have something under the lightning components we have called as static resources. If you do want to save your images files in your organization and use it in the formula fields, then you should first create those image fields as a static resource in your organization. Only then you can able to access these fields. Click on the static resources and click on the new. Since we are creating a new field, so we'll giving the name as image for formula and choose your file location. So yesterday we have a field desktop. Okay, downloads. So documents. Yesterday we have created a loan manager application. We have created a field, right? Sorry, we have created an image, right, which is of KB.
Okay.
So basically the syntactical error which we will encounter over here is the size should be less than 20 KB. The image size should be less than 20 KB. If it is more than 20 KB, it will be throwing you an error, and yes, here it is. It will not show you the image, and you can set the property of the image as public or private. Since I'm setting it as a public and save the record, so it is giving me error because it is something, it should be with the underscore. The name should be, click on save. So this is my file, so it is not showing the view file. Oh my god, it is not showing. So it is not exactly up to the size of the KB that we have defined. So let's go to the over here, documents, downloads, and let me check the property of this image. How many, what is the memory it is consuming? It is consuming only 16 KB. Okay, then it should be visible, right? Why isn't it visible? So guys, we are stuck with this image, I think. Okay, when you click on view, okay, when you click on the view file over here, since we are since we are creating a static resources by choosing our image file, and if we click on this view file, it will be redirect you to a separate window, and from this window you have something called as a image URL. You have to copy this URL and you have to save it over here. Okay, and you need to save this image URL over here. So if you have creating a static resources and using those static resources over here, and if you click on the save, whenever the image is whenever the amount is 5000, it will display your custom image file. Instead of rather we are using the sample image files over here, we can choose our custom image files also like this. So it's a task from my side. Just create just go just create a static resources in your organization with uh, with a image size less than 20 KB. Just go to the static resource. If you want to go to static resources, just click on the setup and go for the develop, and in the develop we have something called as static resources, and click on new, and add your image file over here. What are the image that you want to add, you can add over here, and you can give your name something like second image, SECOND. But in this case it is a name, it is asking actually a name. So if you do want to give any spaces within your within this name field, you should give it by using the underscore. The space should be underscore second image, image, and click on save, and it will create an image file over here. And if you click on the image, you can have a preview over here. I think previously there might be any error. This is the image file that you have uploaded into your static resources, and copy this static resource over here and use it in your formula functions. Like this is my formula function. So for every custom formula, you can define your sorry you can define your amount. So if the amount is 5,000, I want to use this image called as image for formula, and since the amount is for 40,000, I want to use this custom image file as a this image file over here. Okay, so guys, do you understand how I'm using the image files over here in my organization to display the data in the formula fields? Guys, any queries? Are you there? I'm having 6 participants.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. Do work with the static resources and create an image file over here, and uh, check check me with any doubts that you have in the tomorrow section. First, we will start with the queries tomorrow, and we have one more concept in the formulas called as cross-object formula. So what this cross-object formula actually do is, suppose if I want to refer the data from a parent field. So since we are having a master detail relationship and a lookup relationship between our objects, so what I want to display is in the loan object, I want to display the name of a customer, because the name field, the first name and last name fields are available in the object of customer in the other object. Suppose say that we are having a customer object over here, and we are having the fields called as name field, like first name and last name, and I want to display this first name and last name in the corresponding loan record. Over this loan record, I want to display a field with the name of the customer. So we can achieve it by using the formulas in the fields. In the first formula that we have created is concatenating between the two formula fields. Like we have created a name field, it is concatenating between the two fields. Name field, it is concatenating. But why we have to go for the formula fields? Since we can you can ask me a question like, we can also use the same formula over there, and we can also get the field over here. You cannot get it because it is in another object, and you want to show the same name over here in a different object, in another object. So since this customer and loan are having a master detail relationship, I want to get the data from the parent object. So if you want to get the data from the parent object, then you have to go for something called as cross object formula. There is no data type with respect to the cross object formula. Formula is the data type for implementing the cross object formula itself only, and it is applicable from child to parent. It is not applicable, sorry, it is not applicable from parent to child, because if you define this cross object formula field on a parent record, the system cannot understand from which child it should have to take the formula, from which record it should be referring to, because the parent is a single record, and you can have a group of records in a child also. So group of the records can refer to the single parent. So if you define a cross object formula over the parent object, the system will not understand which child record it should take. So it will be giving you an error message. So the cross object formula is applicable from only child to parent. So let's create a so if you want to create a cross object formula, you have certain criteria for this. If it is if the relation is created by the Salesforce, like you have an accounts and contacts, the lookup relationship is created by the Salesforce itself. So in that scenario, in that in that scenario or any formulas, we will be not using any underscore C. To define our fields, we can simply write over the field name as account name, type, rating over there. So something like this. So let's go to your account object. And if I do want to write a formula field over here, how can I write a formula field? You don't need to give the underscore C. Click on the account custom fields and relationships. This is where you can create your custom fields in the account object.
Okay.
So click on new and choose your formula field and click on next and give it as a sample. Okay, and I'm choosing the text type data type as something field. And see, if we insert a field over here, I want to take the field of an account name. If you click on the account name and insert, it is not showing you with respect to the underscore C which we have created in the account and loan objects. Why it is not showing the underscore? Because it is a Salesforce created field. You don't need to give underscore C. If it is a custom field that you have created, then you need to give underscore C.
Okay.
Okay, and did you understand the difference between how we can use this? So this is with respect to the loan application. And so I want to refer to the data in the parent object. So this is the parent object, and we are having some fields called as field 1, field 2, field 3. And in the child, we are having some field called as child field 1, child field 2, child field 3, and we are having a lookup field or a master detail field. So
Okay.
in order to refer the data from a parent, you have to choose this relation field first, r field dot parent field 1. So r field is something, the field which is available in your child object, and field 1 is parent 1 is something, the field 1, parent field 1, it is parent field 1. So in, let me show you in practical. So cross object formula, let's go to the loan object. Since I want to show the name of the name of the person who is taking a loan, I do want to create a new loan record. uh, Harshita is one of my customer, and he is from Australia and Quebec, and he's having an annual revenue of 8 lakhs, and his full name is starts with REDDY. Email is something, and I'm choosing the customer as corporate, and I'm saving the record. So the record is C007, and go to the loans record now and click on the new, and I want to create a loan for given automobile loan. The duration of the loan is 30 months and payment date is so on, and sanction amount is 70 lakhs, 70 lakhs, and applied amount is 90 lakhs, 90 lakhs. And customer, who is my customer over here? I'm choosing my customer as C007, which is Harshita. I created a record. So click on the save. Now in this field, I want to show my customer name over here. So the customer name is in the customer object, and I want to display it in the loan object. So by using the cross object formula, you can do it. So how you can do it? Just click on the view fields and choose your data type as a formula. Click new, data type as formula, and click on next. And I want to give an output value as text, so I'm giving it as a text. So man, I'm forgetting it. Full name, sorry, customer
Customer
name,
name.
okay, customer name, you go over here and click on next. And so here I'm going to write my cross object formula. Since from the insert fields also you can write your cross object formula, but since this is a I'm writing on my own. So the customer field name is something. So what is the lookup field name? Customer, right? Customer relation, right? This is the lookup field. So I'm giving the lookup field. Since you are using it, since this is a custom relation that we have created, we have to use underscore r dot. What is the field name that you want to refer from your customer object? I want to refer to the field like first customer first name. I want to give a concatenation over here and over plus and choose your field over here. So customer underscore underscore or is my field name, or dot what is the last name that you want to give from this customer. This is the customer relation. So if you do want okay, I will explain you last name and insert the field. Okay, so uh, okay, what it exactly do is, so this is my parent object. I'm referring it by using the lookup relationship. So the lookup field name is something called as customer relation, right? The lookup relation name is customer relation, and from the customer relation name dot the relationship name dot what is the name of the field that you are referring to. I'm referring to the first name. So this is with respect to the customer relation underscore underscore or, which is a custom relationship dot. So it is referring to the customer object and what is the field that you want to get, this, which is nothing but the first name. Similarly, I want to make a concatenation over here, and I'm taking the last name also, customer relation underscore underscore or dot last name, and check the syntax over here. And we don't have, I think we don't have any errors. Okay, no errors, and just click on save. Since we have created a customer relationship name and okay, cross object formula, and save. So let's refresh this record. Since we have created a formula field, so you can see the customer name formula field over here. So it is referring to the data from the customer object. So this is what the customer this is how the cross object formulas do work. If it is a created by the Salesforce, you don't need to give underscore underscore or any field names. But if it is a relation which you are creating it in the Salesforce, you have to define it over here like this. R field, which is nothing but the relation field name. Either it may be a master detail or a lookup relationship. Define the field name with the define the relationship field name with the underscore underscore or dot what is the parent field that you are referring to, dot parent field. So which we saw right now. And if it is not a relation, if it is a relationship which is created by the Salesforce, you don't need to give underscore underscore r, and you can simply define your relationship like what is the relationship field name, what is the master detail relationship field name. It is something like customer relationship dot what is the parent field last name. And you might have a little confusion over here. If you do have any problem with respect to how we can rememberize this, you have also a standard approach to create this cross object fields. Like just click on the new and click on the formulas and new, next, and okay, this is with so I'm right now I'm choosing the formulas for cross to is the field, and I'm taking the return text type as text and click on next. And now I want to create a formula field by using this insert statement. Whenever you click on the insert, you can see this loan record, and you can see the list of available fields over here. And you have one more field called as customer relationship. So this is a customer relation field that you have created. You can see this type as a lookup, but with this arrow, this customer relationship, what it will do is it will also show all the related fields in your parent object also. So if I'm selecting the country and insert field, so it is automatically creating the relation called as customer underscore underscore r, relation underscore underscore r dot country. It is automatically creating your relationship. You can create it by using the standard approach by using the insert fields insert. So you can choose your object over here, last modified date. So it is having some of the fields right over here in the customer relation. Since we are choosing the customer relation with the arrow mark at the, and it is showing all the fields which are there in the customer object also. So this is how you can create your cross object formulas in your field. And you have some use cases with respect to the file which I have shared with yesterday to you. Do check with all of them and come to me with respect to this. And we have one more concept in the Salesforce called as validation rules, similar, which is similar to the formula rules. So what these validation rules will actually do in your organization. Okay, this is validation rules will check whether the given statement is right or wrong, and it will throw you an error message. So why these validation rules are really helpful for you when you in your organization? Like, if you are having a business requirement, like something like, uh, upon the data which is given by the user, you want to check the data is a valid data or not, and you want to, if it is not a valid data, you want to throw in error messages. This record cannot be saved since this is not a valid data, and you can give your custom error messages over there. So since we till now we have done something called as making a field required, and we have chosen some of the fields called as data types. If the value and if the field is not a required, if you are not giving those values in a proper way, it is throwing you an error message. But what if I want to conditionally check the given data is right or not? We can check and throw an error messages. We can do it by using the validation rules. So how these validation rules work is similar to this. Like, for every object we have a validation rule. Like, this is your loan object, right? In this loan object we are having a page block section called as validation rules. If you do want to create a validation rule on an object, you have to create it over here. Just click on the new, and I want to create a validation rule like rule 1. What is my rule 1? If the email, if whenever you are creating a record, and if the email field is blank, I want to throw a error messages that email field cannot be a blank. For this condition, I'm taking something like operator as formula as is blank. Sorry, is blank, and insert the field. And what is the field that you want to check for is with respect to the email field. So we don't have email field, so I want to take another data type, sorry, another field. I will take the loan type. If the loan type, if whenever you are sorry, loan type is already a mandatory field in our object, right?
Mhm.
Sorry, loan type is already an required field. So I want to take some field as sanctioned amount. I want to, sorry, applied amount. Whenever you're creating a loan amount, the if applied amount is blank, I want to throw in custom error messages over here. So what I will do, I will take the, since it is a number data type, I want to take it as a is null, because it is a number type of currency, right? So for the as I said, we can use is blank over the text and number data fields. But if you want to check any condition with respect to the number field or a number field, we have to go for is null. Is null, and choose your field over here. If the is null of applied amount, if the applied amount is null, I want to throw an error message like this applied amount cannot be null. Amount cannot be null. So whenever you click on the new in the validation rule, this page will pop up. It will be asking you the rule name, and if you want to keep this rule, if you want to activate this rule or not, you can activate by using a checkbox over here, and you can write your formula conditional expression over here, and your any error messages that you want to check, you can write it. Sorry, if you want to display any error messages, you can write the error messages in this text area and check the syntax over here. So the syntax says it is having no issues with my with the formula field that I have written, and this is the custom error message that I want to display. And we have something called as error location. Uh, just remember, we are choosing the top as the, sorry, top of the page to display our error messages, and we will for the next validation rule we will check with the field. Oh, and click on save. And okay, now go to the loan record, and this time I'm making the loan, I'm making a blank field. Sorry, I'm not giving any applied loan and trying to save my record. So it is giving me a custom error message like applied loan cannot be a null, which we have created, which we have defined in our validation rule. So validation rule are used to check your data is appropriate or not, it is meeting up to your the standards that you want or not. So we have created some validation rule with respect to the applied loan, like is null of applied loan. Since this is the loan field, applied loan is a number field, we are using the formula as is null. Okay, and we have some more other formula fields like over here. uh, mm, Oh, so these are the formula fields. So in this formula field, if I want to check the condition, like if lead source is equal to web, then email field cannot be null. So I want to create this validation rule on a lead object. So I will be going to the sales application. I want to create a validation rule on lead object. So whenever a customer is creating, whenever a person is creating a lead record, and if he is choosing my lead source as a web, so I want to and he is leaving the email field as a blank, then I want to throw a custom error messages saying that boss, you cannot throw an error message when the lead, you cannot leave the email field as a blank whenever the lead source is web. So for
Fine,
this
sir.
yes.
Nothing. Sorry.
Okay, fine. So I want to display a custom message like this. So in this format, I want to create a validation rule. Whenever you want to create a validation rule in your standard objects, you have a separate navigation for this. Like click on the setup, and in the build we have something called as customize, the way the all the list of the standard objects will be available over here. And if you do want to achieve any functionality with respect to your standard objects, you can select over here. So this is the lead object which is available, and I'm going with validation rules in the lead object. So if it is a custom object, you can just click on the view fields, and you have a page block section called as a validation rules, and click on the new, and you can create a validation rule. But whenever you are creating a validation rule on a standard object, this is the standard navigation for this, and click on the new. And I want to give as rule number rule 2, and here I want to check the value with respect to this. Okay, so since it is of a two conditions, right? One condition is with respect to the checking the lead source, and the other condition is with respect to checking the email file. So I'm using the operator called as and over here, and I'm giving the condition, sorry, giving the condition over here. So I'm checking this like is pick val, because it is a loan type. Is pick. Okay, since
Pick list value.
since the lead source is a pick list value, so I'm choosing the pick list value over here, and which the field which I want to store is something called as lead source. And where is this source field? Sit source. Okay, lead source, and I'm choosing the text field as web, web. So this is with respect to one condition, and the second condition is I want to check whether the value is blank or not. So I'm using is blank. Is blank is blank of which is, what is the field that you want to check? You want to check email field. So click on insert. So since these are the standard fields, there is no underscore c over here. And click on close the bracket and click yes, on the other bracket. So what it will do, this this and statement will check over these two values. If the lead source is web and if the email is blank, then I should throw an error message, and I define your message error message over here. Email cannot be blank when the lead source is web. Now choose your error location as field. So let's see what it will happen. On which field you want to see? I want to see show it on an email field, and click on save. So this is my figures, and now let's go to the lead record. And now I want to create a lead record over here, choosing this Mr. Last name is Funny, and last name SSD, and company name is M Corp. MCorp, and I'm choosing the lead source as web, and I'm leaving the email field as blank. And whenever I click on the save, it is throwing an error messages over the field location, like email field cannot be blank when the lead source is web. This is with respect to the throwing a custom error messages with respect to the data that you have processed in your object. So since you you guys are able to understand how why we use it an uncertain and why we are using an is pick list value and is blank, right? And this
Yeah.
is with respect to the location on the top and location at the on the field. So
Okay.
this is how you can define your validation rule in a on an object. And if I give some field value also.
So
mm,
I have a question.
okay.
So for this particular field, you have given the error message. So like that, while
mm,
saving the record, we can also throw some validation rules for
this is
particular field.
mm, for a
Like
particular
I have bunch
mm,
of like 10 fields in my lead object. Like if the name record is
mm,
not saved, I
okay.
want to throw an error message.
Name record is not saved.
I
Name
mean,
field.
like if the name is null, like that.
Yes, you can throw a error messages. Let's say we have a name field over here. It is a simple formula actually. Let's go to the validation rules. You can click on new and sorry, this is with respect to the creating of a fields, right? Let's go to the lead object and click on the validation rules and choose your new validation rule. And I want to create a rule on rule number 3. Rule 3, rule 3, which I created, and I want to check is blank of what is the field that you want to check. You want to check the name field, right? Click
Mm.
on the lead and yeah, okay. So what the thing is, the name field is a some lookup field over here. The Salesforce the lead object doesn't have the name field, so we are taking another field. So let's say if you choose, if you haven't given any value over the country, so you are leaving the country field as a blank value, then you want to throw an error like country cannot be blank.
Okay.
Be blank. So what this statement will do, this statement will check whether the given condition is true or false. So if the country field is blank, it will throw me an error message like country cannot be blank. If there is a value in this country field, it will not throw me an error. And click on save. Okay. And let's go to our custom record, and I want to create a new record over here. Just click on new record, and what I'm doing is, where is this country field? I'm leaving this country field as a blank field, and I'm giving the rest of the details like and click on save record. So it is throwing me error message country field cannot be blank. It is a simple expression. It will check is blank and is null. If the value is returning true, it will return the it will fire the validation message. So formula fields are something are something like calculating the value, and whereas the validation fields are something like it will validate the expression and check whether whether the condition is true. It will throw an error messages. If it is false, it will not throw an error messages. So if I'm giving the country as India, suppose, let's take and save the record out, then it will not give me a error. Sorry, I do have some one possible duplicate found. Okay. Okay, background some duplicate things are firing, so that's why it is giving a okay.
Okay.
Just don't worry about the duplication rules. In the next section, I will explain about the duplication rules. And the leads. So, no, I don't want to select SSD and India. Okay. Now I want to save my record. Company MCorp. Since it is a mandatory field, it is asking me to return a value and click on save. Now the record has been saved to the database. So if you do have some conditions with respect to your validation formulas, it will throw you a custom error messages based on your conditions, based on your formal based on your values which you have entered, and it will uh, uh, it will not save the record into the database. It will throw you an error messages, and it is restricting the data to save into the database. So validation rules, what they will do is it will check for the data validity in your record, and it will throw you with a custom error messages if the validation rules are not satisfied, and if the validation rule returns to be the true, it will not allow the record to save to the database. Since it is throwing an error message over here like in the top and in the on the field, right? So it is restricting the data to save to the database. So the user should give the particular values according to that error messages, and if we click on the save, then only the record will be saved to the database. So this is with respect to the validation rules and how these validation rules do work in the organization. And we have let me explain some of the scenarios to you so that you guys can work it. So if I have a scenario like this, whenever I'm creating a new record, then only I want to check this validation rules. So this validation rule is going with respect to the data. So my situation is something like that. Whenever I'm creating a new record, I want to fire an validation rule with a specific condition. Or when a record is changed, already there is an existing record, and if the existing record value has been changed, then I want to check this validation rule. So for doing this, we have a validation rule functions called as e. Okay, so we have is new and is changed. So what these functions will actually do, formulas will actually do is whenever a new record is created, whenever you click on the new button and create a new record, only when this validation rule will fire. And is changed will fire whenever you are changing the when you are modifying the values of an existing record. So the existing you create an exist record with respect to the fields and data what you want, you created a record, and when you're modifying the record, you are updating the record, when then you want to check some particular condition, then you can check it by using this formula called as is changed. And whenever you want to check your validation rule with respect to the record creation, then you can go with is new. So similarly we have some formulas over here. uh, so whenever a new opportunity is created and the close date is less than today, then throw an error. So I want to throw an error message whenever a record is created and the close date is less than today. If the close date is not less than today, it is of a previous date, then I want to throw an error message. Like how you can throw an error message over here. Just click on the opportunity object and click on so if you want to go for a creating a standard validation rules on a standard object, you have to go from the setup and go to the customize, and we have something called as opportunities, and click on the validation rules and click on the new. There you can create a new validation rule. I want to create a rule number 4 over here, and I want to check end condition because I want to check two conditions, right? That's why I'm using end over here. And so whenever I'm creating a record, so the formula is new. So this is my one of my condition, and the second condition is something like
It's
when the
changed.
close date is less than today. So the opportunity we have a field called as close date over here. So this is the close date field. Close date is less than today. Today is also a function. Yesterday we discussed some of the date functions like today, now, and something like that, right? So this is with respect to today. Today is nothing but it will return you a today's date, and it will check with the close date. If the close date is less than today and it is of a previous date, and the record is a new record that you are creating, it will fire my validation rule. And check the syntax. So syntax has no error. uh, Close date cannot be yesterday, or you can something called as give as previous date it should throw me an error message, and click on the save. And now let's create an opportunity object over here, opportunity, and click on new, and I'm creating with the opportunity name as Ravindra 2 if is actually, and I'm choosing my so here you have to choose your close date, and right now I'm choosing the close date as 21st. Today is the 24th, right? But since I'm choosing it as the 21st, what it will do whenever, so I'm saving my record. It will throw an error message like close date cannot be a previous date. So what I will do, I will change the date as 25th over here and save the record. Then the record is saved. So is new is a condition which will check whether the record is a new record or not. Similarly, the is changed condition will also check whether the existing record is modified or not. So in a scenario, I have something like if an existing record is modified, I want to throw in custom error message. That you can do is by using the is changed. So this is with respect to the edition. So you have something like is changed over here. So is changed. So we have an application, we have an error message like condition like whenever the applied amount is sorry, whenever the applied amount is modified and the new amount is less than the previous, then throw me an error message. So the scenario is something like whenever the applied amount is modified. So the existing record is being modified. So we are taking the condition as is changed is changed, and we have taken an amount field, and we are checking with respect to the prior amount. Prior amount is something uh, like something like this. So you have a record called as loan one record. It is having some of the fields like loan type is an automobile mobile, and applied amount is sorry amount field is 50,000. So what is this prior value then? So since what you are doing, you are opening this loan record and you are changing this value to 6,000. So this prior value will check with the previous value. Previous value is 5,000, right? Then the modified amount is 6,000. So what the Salesforce will functionality will consider is the loan amount right now is 6,000, and the prior value before this 6,000, what is the amount it is holding? It will the amount is 5,000. So it will take the 5,000 amount in this bracket. So if the 6,000 is less, sorry, if the 6,000 is less than 5,000, then it will throw me an error message like it cannot be a less amount. So so the condition is not satisfied, right? So it will not throw an error message. If it is 4,000, like the previous amount itself is a 5,000. Here the previous amount is over here is, so consider that I'm giving now the amount is 4,000, and the previous amount that the record is holding is 5,000. So in this scenario, it will throw me an error message stating that the value that you have entered right now is less than the previous amount. So in this scenario, if you take the scenario of 6,000, so what you are doing, you are giving a value of 6,000, and the previous amount is something like 5,000. So what it is saying, the prior value, the amount is greater than the value. Sorry, it should be a greater. Okay, it should be less value. So it is a greater value. So this condition is not being satisfied over here. This amount condition prior value is not being satisfied here. So it will not throw an error. It will returning you with a value of false. So false, and it will return true whenever you are going with a scenario like this. With the 4,000, the modified amount value is 4,000, and the previous amount, the record is holding something called as 5,000. So if you want to get the previous value, you can get it by using the prior value function. Prior value is something a function. Sorry, it is also one of the formula expression which will get the old data from your record. So this is with respect to the validation rule, and so we are running out of time. It is 8 o'clock, right? It has been 2 hours since we started the so let me give one example and finish this topic today. And let's go to our loan management application. So you are good with this. What is this is new, and how we can use the end condition, and how we can use the is blank condition over the validation rules, right? So I want to create a validation rule with the parent record also. So we have a cross object formula, and we have a, in the cross object formula we see like how we can refer the data from the parent object, right? Similarly, I want to fire a validation rule based on the parent record data. So I have some first name called as Fatima, and her date of birth, and I'm making the true and B and saving the record. This is a record called as C008, and I want to create one of the loan record for her. Loan record, automobile. Okay. Um. So I want to fire a validation rule like this. So if the customer is an active customer, so we have created this customer, right? And he is an active customer. Active is a checkbox, right? So if he is an active customer, and if you have given this up what which field, and if you have chosen this payment field as a blank, then I want to throw an error messages. Like the custom active field is in a customer object, which is in a parent object, and the payment date is in a loan object, right? So I want to fire an validation rule with respect to the cross object formula by using the referring to the data in the parent. So how I can create, so we can normally go to the validation rules by for a custom objects by using view fields, and we can go over the validation rules and click on the new validation rule, and okay, rule number 5, rule 5, and here I want to create my validation rule. So what I will do, I have to check the two conditions, like if the customer is an active customer, and at the same time I should check with the applied field applied date is a null or not. So I will take an and condition over here, and I will just click on this here and write your cross object formula here. If you do simply, if you do want to write a cross object formula, you can select by using the insert field option over here. Click on the custom relationship. It will be navigating to the fields in the uh, in your parent object, and click on insert. And if this field equal to true, so since it is a checkbox, we have to define it is true or not. So this is how we can define it over here, and just give a bracket over here so that the system will have no confusion. And now I want to check the data in the loan object. So how I will check, so is blank of what is this field, uh, eligible amount, no, applied date, right? Applied date, and clicking this, saving the record, and check with the syntax if you are having any syntax error. I think it will throw some errors. Okay, I think these braces are not required. Brackets are not required over here. Check the syntax. Missing. Okay, applied field, blank of applied field. No, it has no error. So I want to refer to the data from the parent object, and I'm giving this value. So this is my error messages. Active customer cannot have a active customer cannot have a blank applied date. I'm clicking on the save. So now let's create a loan record for Fatima. So I'm clicking on new, and the applied loan is something, duration is 50 days, and I'm leaving the applied field over here, and I'm choosing the data. So C008 is a Fatima, right? And applied so I have given applied amount. Sorry, I was supposed to take, sorry. Okay, fine. So I have given applied amount, right, instead of the payment date. So I made a mistake. No problem. Still the validation will fire. And if you are leaving the applied amount as a blank field. So whenever you click on the date, it will be throwing an error message referring to the data from the customer object. Active customer. So Fatima itself, the owner of the loan record is the Fatima. So Fatima is an active customer. Since she is an active customer cannot have a applied amount null field. So this is what the customer error message it is returning to be with referring to the data in the customer object. So this is with respect to the validations, and this is something we are using the validation with respect to the cross object formula, and we have something called as a in the previous statement I said that for if you do want to check with respect to the text area field because it is having a number of characteristics. It is if you do want to check, you have another keyword called as contains. Contains. Contains what is the field that you want to give over here. I want to give this as address field, address field, and what is the value there you are expecting is New York. Okay, this is the field. If this address field contains the word called as New York, then this statement will find. This is the content statements. Similarly, if in a statement, if you are having the first name, if any word is sorry, you are giving a first name in a field. If the word is having any letters with the A and B adjacent to each other, if you do want, and it is a beginning letter, if then you can throw an error by using the begins function. If the first name begins with the word A and B, then if you want to throw an error message, you can throw it by using the begins function. And this is with respect to your formulas and validation rules, right? So guys, any queries till now?
Oh, good.
Okay, everyone, I want a response from
Yes, yes.
everyone because this is an important topic and you will get this topic repeatedly in where in your coding part and your validations, and when you are defining your automated business requirements, and everywhere you will find this topic called as formulas. And these expressions called as is changed, is blank, is null, is pick list value, amount, prior value, and everything is a mandatory one. You should learn it, and it is of a higher importance to you in your organization. I will share you this document with you so that you can refer to the what exactly the formula field that we have worked on today. Okay, and we have something called as roll up summary field. So let us take a quick look at what is the roll up summary field is exactly. And okay. Okay, so this is the roll-up summary field. So you are having a master detail relationship or a lookup relationship in your organization. And similarly, I'm having a customer record called as Fanindra. I'm having 4 loans. I want to calculate the sum of the loans that I have taken. How can you calculate that in a Salesforce? By using the roll-up summary field. So roll-up summary field calculates the child records values, or it performs the aggregate functions like some minimum, like count. If you specify the count as your formula aggregate function, then it will check with the return you the list of the records the particular parent record is having. Suppose if you want to get how many records are there for a parent record, how many how many child records are there for a parent record, then by using the count aggregate function, it will return you the number of child records that you have in a loan object with respect to the corresponding customer object. It will return. Similarly, we have sum function. Like sum function, what it will do, it will calculate the values in all the records. Suppose I'm a Fanindra, I'm having 4 loans like housing, automobile, car loan, and some other loans, and I have a value field in that called as sanction amount. So I want to calculate what is the total amount that we have given for this customer with respect to the all the loans. I have to calculate all the loan records with the field of sanction amount. So by using the sum function, it will calculate all the child records sanction amount values, and it will display it in the customer object. And we have something called as minimum value. What is the minimum value, minimum loan that he has taken, and what is the maximum loan that he has taken? With respect to that, you can get it by using the roll-up summary. And roll-up summary field is only possible on the master detail relationship. You cannot create a lookup relationship on a you cannot create a roll-up summary on a lookup field, lookup relation. you can create a roll up summary only on a master detail relationship only. And you can create the master detail relationship, sorry, you can create a roll up summary only on a what object? Parent object only. You cannot create the roll up summary on child object. Validations, it is possible from child to parent, but parent to sorry, cross object formula is possible from child to parent, but it is not possible from parent to child. Similarly, roll up summary is possible from parent to child, but it is not possible in child to parent. So whenever you are creating a roll up summary, you have to create it on a parent object. So let's go to the our customer object and create some of the roll up summary fields. Roll up summary is also a data type. It is also a field. So click on the custom fields and relationships and choose your field as roll up summary field and click on next. And this is I want to take the count. Okay, count. So I'm choosing my field label as count and click on next. And it will now it will ask you what is the object that you want to select for. I want to select the loans as my object because uh, since different objects are having different relationships, like parent is having a master detail relationship with the what object? Customer object, and services is also having a master detail relationship with the customer object, and loan is also having a master detail relationship with the customer object. So the list of objects are visible here in the summarized object. So I'm taking my loan object, and I want to calculate the number of the records which uh, which are there for a particular loan. So click on next and click on next and save. Now let's go to the customer record once. So since we have created a so, so this is not having okay. So for C008 is a customer who is not having any loan record. So I am creating a loan records for her since on this for certain conditions, and applied amount is something like this. Okay, the custom relationship name is C008 and click and save new. I want to create a couple of records. So customer cannot have a blank applied field. Applied field. Where is this applied field? Okay. Choose some value and save. Okay. Go to the loans record again and create some more fields. And car loan and duration is 30 days and applied date, applied amount, and applied amount is something 90,000. And choose your parent field, parent record. Parent record is C008. Click on save and new. And new record, I want to give him a corporate loan, and duration is 436 and applied date and 80,000, and choose the record as Fatima as C008 and click on save. And now go to your customer record and open your customer record. Now you can see the count of number of the records that we have created for this customer. So how many loans we have given for this customer? We have given 3 loans, and these are the 3 loans. So you yesterday we discussed about the topic of related list and how you can see your fields, right? This is with respect to the count function in a roll up summary. And we have one more function called as sum function. And click on new, and I want to create one more roll up summary field on my object and click on next. And with this is sum. I'm going to calculate the sum of the amounts in the fields and click on next. And do loan is my object, and I want to pick the sum, and it is asking me on which it is having some number fields like applied amount, difference amount, duration amount, eligible amount, and sanction amount. On which field you want to calculate this sum function? I want to calculate on the sanctioned amount field. No, applied amount. I want to calculate what are the all the applied amounts he had applied for these 3 loans. I want to calculate this, and this is something which is the filter criteria. In the next few minutes we'll discuss it. And click on the next, and click on next and save the record for now, and go to the customer record now and just refresh your record. So the sum of the applied amount for all these 3 loans is this value. So you can get an aggregate function on this on your parent record. By using the roll up summary, you can get the count of the records and you can get the sum of the fields, sum of the number field. So on these three fields, it is calculating the, so it is having an applied field, applied amount over field is, it is calculating the amount in these three records. The applied amount field, it is making the sum of the applied amount on these three fields, three loan records, and giving a give you a value over here, like the sum. So I want to find the minimum amount, minimum loan that he is taking, and now I want to show him what is the maximum loan that this person has taken right till now. So I just click on the new and click on the new function, and I want to create a one more roll up summary field with respect to the calculating the minimum amount, minimum applied amount. So the field name is minimum applied amount. Okay, this is with respect to this. Okay, and click on save, next, and click on the minimum. Right now just choose your object, loan object, and I want to get the minimum applied amount, and click on next, and click on next, and I want to create one more roll up summary field with maximum loan. Roll up summary, click on next. I'm creating two fields, guys, don't get worried. And I want to show maximum amount of maximum max applied amount. Okay, this is the field, and click on next, and choose your loan object, and this is the maximum, and choose your applied date field, and click on next. Okay, click on next, and click on save, and go to your customer record again and just refresh it. So this is the count of records which I am having with respect to this customer. This is the total sum of the applied amount for these three loan records, and this is the minimum applied amount within these three loan records, and this is the maximum applied amount within these three loan records. This is how the roll up summary works. So we have one more criteria over here, roll up summary. So we have different situations over here. The roll up summary field is works differently on different conditions. If you are taking a count, it will return you the count of the records. That one is for sure. And if you are calculating a maximum, it can calculate the maximum amount on certain fields like number, currency, percentage, date, and date time. It can calculate. So if you want to calculate a maximum applied date, you have an apply. So you have an applied date in the what you said in your loan record, right? In your loan record, if you do want to calculate the maximum applied date, so what is the most previous date that he has applied, and minimum what is the recent loan date which he has applied with. If you do want to get that date also, you can get by using the maximum function. So max is a function, max is an aggregate function which is applicable to number, currency, percentage, date time. So since this current applied amount is a currency field, we can able to calculate. But when you are creating a sum field, you can see only number, percentage. You can create a aggregate function with respect to the sum only on certain fields like number, currency, and percentage. Like when we are creating the sum of the loan amounts, sum of the applied amounts, we are able to see a only few fields. But whereas when we are creating a maximum and minimum loans, we are able to see a lot of fields. Why? Because it is applicable to number, currency, percentage, date, and date time. And some aggregate function is applicable to only number and currency and percentage. Let's have a quick look over here. So this is with respect to the fields, and click on the new, and so this is with respect to the roll up summary, and give it roll 1. Okay, so choose your child object And if you select the sum field, it is displaying you only the number currency field. This is the currency field. This is a applied sanction. So these are all the currency fields. But whenever you are going for the number data type, it is showing you the uh, date fields as well as the number fields in your object. And if you go for the max, it is showing you the same fields. Like what are the fields? If you go for the only sum fields, it is showing you only sum fields, which are nothing but the amount. The criteria depends on like this. If you are using the sum aggregate function, only the fields of number, currency, and percentage will only be displayed. And whenever we are going with the sum or max or minimum aggregate functions, these fields will be visible. Like number fields, currency fields, percentage, date, and datetime fields are only visible over here. This is with respect to the roll-up summary that we have created. So guys, any questions with respect to the roll-up summary? So, and we have something called as a filter criteria. So what this filter criteria will do is, so far we have chosen all records should be included. That means for an parent record, what are the child records are there? All the records will be taken into the count. But I want to take the child records on a particular condition. So if the loan type, so you can create your filter condition, choose your field. Uh, Applied amount, where is this loan type? So if the loan type equals to automobile loan, insert field. So I want to make a sum of the records only for the, sorry, I want to make a sum calculation for the applied amount right now on only on the records whose loan type is automobile. Only on the automobile loan records, I want to calculate the sum for this person. So you can give a filter condition over here and just click on the save. This is one more field which we are creating, and click on next and save. So let's go to the customer record and refresh it. So go to this. So since the total sum of the amount is 11,700, but it is the roll one is only 10,000. This is also a sum function and this is also a sum function. But what the difference is, this is with respect to all the records. It will calculate the amount in the all the records. It will calculate the amount only on the specific record on whose loan type is automobile. So this is with respect to the filter condition. So guys, we are done with the class today. If you have any queries, you can ask me with respect to the formulas, validation rules, and roll-up summary.
So I have one query with respect to the validation rule.
Okay.
Like we are writing validation rules like rule number 1, rule number 2, but in real world there can be many rules. So how should we know like which rule is active? Just like we check the box like active and we make it active.
Yes.
Or is there any limit? How many validation rules can be there in that particular object?
Yes, there is a limit for the validation rule. You can create up to 100 validation rules on a object. So if you go to the object property, object limits, you will be having these validation rules. Where is this validation rules?
Active validation.
So active validation rules can only be 100. You can create n number of validation rules, but only the active validation rules on your object can be only 100. More than that, you cannot create a validation rule. So for an object, you can create only 100 validation rules. That's it. And we are taking the rule number 1, rule number 2 as a field names, right? So why we are taking like that is for a practice purpose. But in the real-time scenario, you should mention the rule name actually. If the customer status is inactive, that is the rule name actually. Okay. The naming convention should be with respect to your business requirement. Okay. So for practice purpose and for a quick writing, I was using the rule number 1, rule number 2, and rule number 3. These are all the fields that we have created so far in our customer object. Okay. So any more queries? Guys, give me a quick reply from all the participants.
We are good currently.
Okay. So that's the end of the topic. Tomorrow we will be discussing about the security controllers. We are done with the data model part. Basically, I said we have a data model, security controllers, and we have something called as automated business process, and we have reports and dashboards. We are done with the data model. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we will be discussing with the security models, like how we can share the records in our organization and who can see who's record in the organization. We will be discussing them tomorrow in the sharing rules. Okay. Okay. That's all for the today's section. And